Join me as you and I and you take a journey to become better writers together and geek out.
Well, hello there, Appletinis. This is your Applebite Written Writ Ralf talking to you straight from our show here, The Written Writ. And of course, we have Shadow, Frank, and Marta all hanging out, all having fun, all about to get geeky.
As we do.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we are.
Geeky is always googie. Googie? No, goody?
Googie, yes.
There we go. Let's take this Brady Bunch thing and switch it around here.
All right.
All right, folks. We are, I got to say, Marta, and I'll throw you off completely right away because
oh no,
you are just two away from
the mark. That is crazy.
Yeah, just two people need to go hit that button to get notified, and we'll hit the 150, and you'll have that pre-stretch goal Kickstarter. There you go.
Yeah, that's wild. Also, I feel like I have you guys to thank for that a lot because you guys have been promoting this thing so hard. And it's so hard for me to do it alone and work on the comic and stuff. So it feels nice to actually have people in my corner. It's very cool, and I appreciate you all.
Oh, we love what you do, we know that you're working really hard. So helping you out sounds like an easy thing.
Thank you.
Well, he does a great job doing that and getting the word out there, and people.
He's such a good hype man. Yeah,
he really is really good at doing that.
So, Matt, tell the people what they're signing up for when they sign up to get notified. Tell them why they should. Tell them all the good stuff. Go.
All right. So this here is my Kickstarter campaign that's going to be going live next week on January 15th that I'm totally not nervous about at all. It's for my comic Sacrimony, A Tale of Love, Life, and Death in no particular order. It's the story of a teenage girl who died, but then she got better. And as with all mysterious resurrection stories, there is a catch that she has no memory of her past, no idea why she has magical powers, or why she has demon wings that she has to hide from society. And her mom are just in the big city, and they're trying to have a normal life in a city that wants her dead yet again. Yet again.
Isn't that how life is? People kill you, and then they want to kill you again.
Yeah, I mean, the fun thing about Sacrimony is that a lot of characters have died at some point, but then it's always that a fate worse than death sort of thing where it's all right, we died, what now? Her mom died, went to quote unquote heaven, married a god, had their kid or whatever. She has all of this divine knowledge. Then they get banished back to the mortal realm, and it's what does she do knowing that God is essentially a scumbag and people are worshiping this god? How does she handle that?
Yeah, well, what would you do if you found that out?
I do what she does and just start drinking.
I have to agree. That would be a good reaction,
Yeah, probably.
Start drinking.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about Sacrimony is that it is a human story. It's she married a god, was technically a goddess for a while, came back, and it's it's not like she's oh, I'm gonna go out and fight people or do god things or whatever. It's just no, I'm gonna start drinking because this was traumatic. And that's the kind of stuff you get in Sacrimony. You get very human, normal reactions to very abnormal situations.
But I like that. That's what I think I like the most about this is that you're writing this book, and it's this reaction or these live reactions or these things that normal people will do.
Yeah, and it's also about that sort of snowball of consequences where it's as more people keep doing things, there's this big snowball that keeps rolling and getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and you're just waiting all right, when are the consequences going to hit them? What is it going to be like? It is very much about reactions, characters reacting to other characters, and it's just a domino effect of reactions. So like psychologically, it's very interesting to watch.
It's funny though because I feel like what you're doing is you're taking the D&D role play that happens that most people don't get a chance to see, because people always are thinking about, when they think D&D, they're thinking more about the fighting and
The
killing.
fighting and the looting and
Yeah.
the leveling up and the
Mhm.
casting cool magical spells. And like, yes, there is fighting and there's cool magical spells, but like, as with everything I do, I mean, you've even seen it in Buddy and Friend where it's like there's always consequences for something. Like you
Yeah.
can't walk into the bar and pretend you're like this big badass and like kick someone's ass and then everyone's like, "Oh wow, that's so cool." It's like, no, the cops come in and they're like, "Oh, you were fighting? You're going to jail now."
Yeah, but see, you're bringing that thing home, that feeling, that role play, because, like I said, most people don't get a chance to really see that. You
And
know,
that's unfortunate.
yeah, and because most people regale other people with oh my god, you should have seen when we were fighting this thing, or when this happened, or when that. But a lot of the fun happens when you're actually just role playing.
Yeah, I mean, that's when you really get to know your fellow characters. It's when you get to know the setting. It's when you get to know the NPCs. And like, that's where more of the genuine connections are built, as opposed to just like, oh, see, I killed the troll. I was the one who got the last hit on it. I rolled a critical. Like, I mean, yeah, there's a time and place for that, but
And it's
that's
fun.
not the
Yeah.
only like it's not the only important aspect of either D&D or storytelling.
Yeah.
Like I do get a little, I don't want to say pissed off, but I get a little like blah, whatever, when there's a comic and it's all just like, all right, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're gonna fight this, we're gonna fight that, and you learn nothing about the characters, you learn nothing about the setting, you learn nothing about the world that they're in, and like it's a missed opportunity because the more you flesh out the characters, the more you flesh out the world and whatever, it's like the better it is.
Yeah.
Well, you
Because
just
it's just like you don't want to be like, all right, that's the character that like flip kicked the guy in the face. That's the guy that shot that other guy. Like you want to know like what their deal is.
Mm-hmm.
well, you
I
want to
don't feel
build.
connected otherwise.
No, you want to build story, you want to build
Mhm.
characters, you want to emotional connections that your fans will gain from these certain characters and stuff like that. The human aspects of your characters, you draw them in more by being more human instead of what they look like. You know,
Right.
like I know I did a lot of stuff with the Master in the Dark Legend series, and I made him frozen 400 years, didn't really get the opportunity, whatever. In the second one, you learn about certain things that he starts learning about himself, and understanding life. And, he was raised in the mountains for 18 years, came down, got frozen, and, wakes up in New York City, like
That's got to be traumatic.
no, just a little
It's like
bit.
I would not want to be in the past and of all places wake up in New York City.
Well, no,
And I
but
live
like,
in New York.
Culture shock.
Yeah.
yeah, just a bit. Well, 400 years of cultural shock. You go from
A lot has
the,
happened in 400 years.
but I mean, like you want to build characters of like yeah, they have their own unique abilities and stuff like that. They have their backstories of where they came from and stuff like that. But you want to build n- things that fans get attached to.
Yeah, you want
Like
people to like the characters, not just what they do, but
100%.
who they are.
You know what I find hard? The longer I go on with the Dark Legend series, the harder I find it to get rid of a character. And I'm like, no, I cannot.
Oh
I get to the point where I get so attached, and I'm like, because what did I just finish on one of my last vacations? I just finished another one. This is what 4. This is number 4. Um, and I was like, I do like a twist in it, but you think I kill like a main character off, but I don't, But
no. Ooh.
I'm like, this would be kind of cool. Like, like I throw one of the characters, his name is Princess Anna, and I throw her off like these bad guys that come after him and his now wife and daughter. Basically, she gets thrown off a mountain, but you never see her land. So it's like one of those like screenshots. If they do it like on a movie, you see the person get thrown off, and then they pull the
You see
camera.
them
They
like,
pull. You're
ah.
right, but like I said, that's as far as I went with her because she's awesome, and I'm like, I cannot kill these characters because it's like you just get so attached to them, especially, like I just can't, like, it is really hard for me to kill off major characters. Like I had, like, at the end of the third one, I had, like, certain characters I kind of weed off, like, into sunset. They retired, whatever, from stuff like that. So, I didn't kill them off. I'm like, man, I'm just, like, going through each story. I'm like, man, there's a lot of characters that's still around from the first story. I'm like,
Aw.
how did I do that? But as writers, whether it's comics, novels, graphic novels, whatever, you get attached to certain characters that you cannot, like, I just cannot get rid of them. And I don't, because then it's like, I'm like, all right, if I take this character out, then it takes the element of you're used to having those two main characters, then you drop it down to one. Like, oh man, this really sucks. Like,
I mean, also that goes to show that your characters actually bring something of value to the table. Like, you're not just creating them to be there and do something and then get killed
no,
off. Like, I always side-eye writers, George R. R. Martin, who just, have a whole bunch of characters, and then it's just like, okay, I'm gonna give you kind of sort of a bit of backstory, make you like this character, and then kill them off for shock value. And like, I'm
I hate
so
Mike.
over that.
you
Like,
should.
I like that you have these characters that you're attached to, that you've fully fleshed out, that you've just like I said, you make them bring something of value to the table where, like, getting rid of them would just be detrimental to the story at this point. Hey, Grant.
And you know it's 100% true, but like the more you're like, I'm attached to writing the dark legend of the foreigner, and like the more I write it, the more attached to I get. I mean, I had this story since 1996, but it's
Aw.
amazing when I hand wrote it. Like when I first started, like, rewriting it, and then I finally got it into publication in 2014. I took the hardcover notebooks because I wrote them in hardcover me notebooks, and just for the kicks and giggles, it's at my mom's house, so it's still there. But like I just went through it, and I'm like, oh man, half the characters that were in the story I never even used. So it's just like, but it got shrank down. I mean, I think the original story had like I'm gonna say like 22 characters, which is way too
That's a
much.
lot, yeah.
It is. I didn't know anything about writing, I kinda had to figure it out on my own, and then
I feel you on
understand,
that.
Yeah.
and it's, I think all of us as writers, comic writers, clay guys, awesome clay guys at that,
Very awesome play, guys.
yes,
Oh,
yes.
you guys are all right.
Clay man.
I think in what we write, what we make, what we draw, what we sell, whatever our talent that we have are, and our special unique gifts that we have, I think we have our own journey, and finding ourselves is, I think, key. And then you have the help along other people that guide us and, can improve things that we do, but like, as far as like, me getting rid of characters, I can't do it. I'd be so bad as a script writer to like, yeah, I'm not killing that person off, that person off, oh man, I suck.
No, I like that one.
I know I
Like getting
do.
rid of it.
But it's funny though, because I don't understand why people got this thing now that people have to die.
They don't.
They
Yeah,
don't.
they don't have to die. They're constantly like, well, this is a story. Somebody has to die. I'm like, nobody has to die.
But
Yeah, there's other ways to emphasize consequence.
Exactly.
Yeah,
No, but
exactly.
Almost
that's the
getting
way
tropey. You
I've
just
kind
kill
of.
off main characters now.
Well, you got to make characters, but make characters that make sense for the story, not just to throw a character in there just to, hey, listen, this person is just here to take up space, or a page, or a comic book page, or whatever. Like, I mean, I literally, if I tell you guys straight out, and I'm always straight out, if I basically had the time, I could probably basically write a Dark Legend in a week. Yes, I did say a week.
I
7
believe you.
days. 7 days, I could do that in a week. But because I'm so attached to that story,
Yeah.
it's something that, you know, I mean, figure in 1996 I created that, so you figure it was 2000, it's almost 20 years, right? Did I do that math right or no?
It's more than
26.
20 years, isn't it?
Yeah, well,
90s? Well, we're going on
96,
30 for 90s.
96,
Yeah,
96
so
again.
28 years?
20 years.
Oh,
Okay,
man.
no, it only took
Let's
me a
not
little
do
bit
this
to.
math.
Maybe 20?
Yeah,
Yeah.
28.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
If I have to kill main characters, the story is super close to ending.
Yeah, I guess, but I would also rather give characters like a better form of closure than just killing them off.
Oh, you
Like
should.
there's ways.
It
You know.
bugs me out though because of this whole concept of because there's times where somebody will kill off a character, and I'm sitting there going, okay, wait a minute, you killed off this character. This character had something to do and he didn't do it yet, and now you killed him off. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
It's like, did you forget that this arc was supposed to wrap up? Like, what's going on here? Or like, did you just like not want to do anything with this character? Like, why did you put them in the story if you were going to kill them before they could do the thing?
Yeah.
See, I write my notes like when I sit there and write and have different scenes because sometimes it's not consistent, and
Yep.
I still write my notes, keep my spiral notebook, write this. I'm like, write it down just in case I don't get to that point where I need to finish for that day or whatever the hour, and then I write stuff down, but I don't know. I don't like to write characters just to be there. There has to be a purpose for that character, whether it's a small role or a large role. There has to be purpose. Whether
Yeah,
they
I mean,
live.
sorry to cut you off, but like, how
No,
is it even impossible? I mean, how is it even possible to write a character that's just there to take up space? Like, what do you
let's
make them
face
do? Like, if you don't feel connected to a character, like, how are you supposed to write them?
People do that all the time, though.
And it's always really obvious, and the
Yeah.
characters fall really flat, and you're just like, okay, well,
Biff
that was.
walked into the room. Okay, what did Biff do? He didn't do anything.
They just
Why did he
walked
walk
into the
into
room.
Well, for you guys writing your stories, how far into a character's development is it before you really consider them to be like a real person? Like that you've got
That
that
is a
sort of
good
emotional
question.
attachment.
See,
to them.
I got a good answer for you.
Mhm.
So
I don't, so I'm gonna copy off of Frank once he answers. I'm just gonna be like that, exactly that.
Go, Frank, go.
Here's well, so I have a vision in my head, and this is how I come up with the book. Like I see something that I vision on the book, and I don't before I start writing anything, I have to have a vision of what the book looks like. Then I find the book title, right? It is weird. I kind of do it opposite. So kind of weird. But when I start writing, I start thinking of cool characters, get ideas or whatever from movies, what other books I might have read. And then I'm like, all right, I basically give myself like a projection number of what would be a good balance to develop each of those characters. You don't want to do too much. Now I'm at the point, if I had like 15 characters, I could probably do it. But when you're starting out writing, you want to have, a handful, maybe 10, 12 characters, give or take, right? Depending upon what type of genre you're in. Then you want to come up with character names, whatever, a Rachel or, a Beatrice or, a Master or something, or, a Princess Anne or whatever. And then I'm like, oh, those are cool names. And then you want to start developing closer characters, like I had in the first one, I had the cop in the Dark Legend was named Matt Ryder, and his brother Jack, and then he had a sergeant. There was a Sergeant Thomas because they were all police officers. Then there was the master, and then there was the master's parents. So I basically tried to keep it on the lower end. You could still make it work with a lower. I think at best I had maybe 10 or 12 characters that were in the original Dark Legend. Then because I wanted, when you're right, you want to make sure those characters are developed and they're not just slosh things thrown aside. You want to make sure that they have content and they have reason behind them, why they're in the story. Then when you start throwing characters that have no meaning, then why put it in there? Then I delete it, but that's how I go. I always want to keep my characters at a low minimum, but now, like, I have a couple other things that have been in the works, and I have a lot of characters in them. I'm trying a suspense thriller, which, generally you need a lot of characters in there in those types. I mean, fantasy, you could do that too with science fiction as well, you know. Um, but like that was my weakest point, like, at least I found. And as my editor has edited my work, she's like, your strength, like I was weak at that point, and I'm not gonna lie, I was weak, and she would tell me, she's like, in each story with the Dark Legend or whatever she had edited, she's like, your strength has become your character building. So from that process makes you feel, I didn't go to school for writing. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So you kind of learn as you go. But like hearing that from an editor that's worked on my stuff, she's the only one that does my stuff. But when she comes around and emails me, she's like, yo, your strength, it has become your story building was always great. You're telling, but you're building any characters. And then I get so, because I build them so good and so strong that I don't want to get rid of them. So it's, I think building characters, it's just like any writer, right? You see these shows that sometimes these writers write, and for the most part they're solid, and so others they have characters that just linger around. Like, all right, what's that person doing? What purpose does that person have? They just gave someone another job, So uh, it could be, I don't think there's a right or wrong way of doing characters. I think it's, what the best fit for that specific writer. Someone that I write the Dark Legend or something else I might come out with, and then someone else is writing another fantasy story. My thing I would always recommend to people is you gotta feel it. No one could tell you differently. You know, Ralph could pick up, something. It's like, oh, let's collaborate with, Dark Legend or do something, and then he gets a different feel, and then different. Everybody's going to have a different take on something. It's not going to be the same. You're going to have 10 people in the room, 10 males, 10 females, or whatever, or whoever, and you're going to have 10 different takes from 10 different people.
That's the fun part about it, though, seeing how people interpret like different characters, especially when you do sort of leave things not super concrete, where you're not like explaining like, okay, this character is doing this to do that to accomplish that, but you just like you have the character do something, you don't really super duper explain it, and then you have all of these people kind of like debating with each other like, oh, they did this because of that, no, they did this because of that, and it's so fun to watch. I just want to like, get out the popcorn and just watch them fight each other on it. That's my dream for Sacrimony, actually, where like people start getting in like heated debates that like end friendships about like why characters did what they did, or like, which character they like or whatever. That's my main goal, just to end people's friendships.
Well, that's
Or get them kicked out of like Reddit groups or whatever. I don't know.
That's what happens now with fandoms.
Yep.
People get so attached to these characters that then the movies come out and they're like, no, that's not it. That's not what's supposed to happen.
Oof.
I'm like, look, dude, man, just enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think definitely cons have kind of like, like, I'm gonna admit this, and you guys are probably gonna all jump all over me. I've never watched anything anime. No, so you guys could.
To each their own.
Yeah,
You're just gonna have that much more to watch when you get into it.
Well, that's true.
There you go. That's a good way to look at it.
That's what usually happens. You end up running.
My dad retired, and now I think he's watched more anime than I have.
Exactly.
Amazing.
So that's what usually happens. You run into an anime, you go, "What's this?" Next thing you know, you're watching it. You're like, "Ooh, what's this? Ooh, what's this? Ooh, what's this?"
That's what happened to my mom and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I think we ended up binging the whole thing in like a month, like all 5 seasons.
Wow.
Wow.
But wherever you're getting your inspiration from, it matters that it's something that's getting you excited, and then you're able to, continue that flame of creativity to whatever your medium is. So
I'm
whatever gets you there, it's great. It's
anything you watch or hear or music you listen to, or like at different cons, I get people that come up to me, some aspiring writers, and they always ask me, how do I sit there and write? And I go, there is no right or wrong answer in doing anything. I said, you got to find your own niche. And that's what I tell people. I said, basically, I could put on Linkin Park music on iHeartRadio or Godsmack or whatever rock comes
You
on.
got good taste.
Yes, you do.
Oh, thank you.
It's the same stuff I listen to while I'm
Yeah.
working.
I just wish I could go see Linkin Park again. God
Aw.
bless Chester.
I never
Yeah.
got to see them. I'm so salty about that.
Oh, man, 11 times.
I saw them
Amazing. I'm
I
so
saw them
jealous.
once, and I think they were part of something else when I saw them.
They were the best concert I ever went to was at the old Nassau Coliseum. Of course, I have to say old because it's now UBS or whatever, it's still
Right.
there. But I think it was, I forgot what tour it was. I don't remember. I don't remember what tour it was, but it was the album that I should remember the album. Now why can't I think of a
Was
song?
it the first, the second?
I think it was the first.
Hybrid Theory.
Oh, Crawling. It was the album that had Crawling.
Okay.
Yeah, that was Hybrid Theory.
Hybrid Theory.
Yeah, it was, right? Okay.
That was like their most solid album.
No, 100%. I don't remember what song it was at the time. And Chester called up two guys. They had right over in the front row or whatever. It's like, oh, what do you guys play guitar? And I've never seen this at any concert. I've been to maybe 14, 15 concerts. Not a lot, right? And he calls up these two guys that played on guitar. And one was way better than the other. I mean, definitely better. And I don't remember what song they played. I mean, like I said, this is going on how many years ago?
A lot of years.
Yeah, early 2000s, probably after 9/11, somewhere after or before. It might have been. I don't remember. And he played with them, with Chester singing that song. I never forgotten that. Don't remember the song, but
I bet you the guys never forgot that either. That's
Definitely,
so
man.
special.
Dude,
seeing something like that at a concert,
Unheard
yeah.
of.
Yeah. I mean, I worked for Marriott. I remember Eminem was in the tour bus. These are the only two music things that I have. Eminem was in the tour bus with 50 Cent, and they were doing, I guess this is when Eminem was going through his his drug and alcohol rehab and stuff like that. And, he was trying to get out of all that stuff, but he was in the tour bus with 50 Cent. I
Hey,
worked with,
Gage.
oh, hey, Gage. What time is it there? Like, let's say, was it 11?
he's still early, man.
It's 8 o'clock.
He's all happy.
8
It's
o'clock.
It's
8 o'clock
over
now.
there.
Jeez.
It's not like us who are dying and sleeping over.
Yeah, it's not like us who's like, is it past my bedtime yet?
Exactly.
No, I mean, the music is definitely an inspiration to me. So I sit there and just write, and then just could kind of, 8 o'clock.
Jeez. Oh.
Oh, it was right. He has the snowstorms. Oh, I forgot about that.
Snowing hard in, yeah. What's snowing hard? Like a couple inches?
Yeah, because there's a huge storm that is going through the country.
Oh, no.
It's hitting. It should be over near his location right now. It's heading
How's it
towards
going to stick over there? It's not going to stick in Vegas. Doesn't he live Vegas in
he's
Nevada?
not in Vegas. He's higher up.
Oh,
he's in Nevada.
He's in the mountains. Oh, he's
not in the
mountains.
desert. Oh dear.
He's
Yeah.
in Nevada. Everybody thinks Nevada. They think the desert, but there's Nevada.
There's
up.
a very high Nevada. Yeah.
Okay, so he's up. Oh, okay. So I take that back. It's gonna snow.
I'm so sorry, buddy. That's gonna be a lot of snow then.
That rain was horrible last night.
Shoot.
It was. Now I know how Seattle feels year round.
Oof.
All right, Marta, this is part 2 of your thing.
Oh yeah, it is.
So look, they're $500 away.
Yeah, seriously. So yeah, Holiday Spirits, volumes 1 through 3, horror anthologies going on now. We've got 58 hours to go, 300 backers. We've got like $500 left to get funded. So like, let's get this funded. There's some really great names involved. There's like Travis Gibb, there's Daniel Caliban, there's Jerome Gagnon, which I probably said his last name wrong, and I'm sorry about that. Oh man, yeah, there's like
Look,
if you
all of this is open now. Look.
yeah, all of these bonus comics, including Sacrimony, has been unlocked. So if you haven't read it, you can get issue 1 there. You can also get some other very cool comics. Yeah, it's just there's 16 stories in here. It's going to be almost 200 pages. It is a heckin' chonker of a book.
That's a book.
That is a book. Yeah. And yeah, let's get this funded sooner than later so that we get some stretch goals unlocked. There's different covers. There's also like art from the different stories. Like there's a lot of people involved in this.
Like this right here.
Like yeah, that's my goat demon. I love my goat demon.
I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
Thank you. So yeah, that's my story. It's called Got Your Goat. As you can see, it's goat related because that's my brand. My brand is goats. It's also in a completely different style than you've seen any of my other work in, which is always fun to do. I like to surprise people. I don't want to be that like one-trick pony where it's like, oh, you can only do fantasy. You can only do this. Like, no, I've got range.
I don't know if we can call you a one-trick pony because even Sacrimony and Buddy are two totally different art styles.
Yep. It's always fun when people realize that like I'm the one that did both of them. Like people are sort of like, wait, what? but someone drew the other one, right? Like, nope. I wrote and drew both of them. So yeah.
It's really great artwork, it's great,
Oh, thank you.
You change it up once in a while too,
Yeah,
so
I feel like oh, sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, no, every anthology I do, I'm probably just gonna like surprise people and do something completely different that they've never seen before. And I know people are like, oh no, but you have to have a personal brand. You have to be recognizable. Like, no, my personal brand is chaos.
I've always wondered why you fit so well in here with the Appletinis and Bitten Apple. It's that because people are constantly telling me you need to focus on something, Ralph. I'm like, no, if I focus on something, I miss all the other beautiful things that I love to geek out on.
Exactly. Like, where's the fun? Where's the exploration? Where's the surprises? It's just.
But
like,
you want to be
life is chaos.
Right. You want to be multi-universal so you could always do something to change it up, but still keep part of what drew people in the first place,
Exactly.
But you're multi-talented that you could kind of do both and keep that artwork is just really great,
Thank you.
Gage said, love that style. And it makes sense too. I would love to see you and Gage do a collab because I think you'd fit right in with his story.
I do too.
Yeah.
We got to talk about that behind the scenes.
I see you had the same thought because you saw Gage's stuff, and you saw what he's doing with his God Slayers, and you were like,
yeah, like
I can do something.
I'm about killing some gods. Like, let's do this. Let's make this happen.
Look.
Yeah. There we go. He's already contacted me about something that I'm working on right now that's like comics adjacent, but that will be revealed another time.
Nice. I see. I can feel it. It just, I felt that energy. I was like, okay.
Same brain. Same brain.
I can see, just to stay on the topic for a minute, that Cat is one of the books that has been released.
Oh, yeah. Killing it as always.
Exactly. With Holiday Spirits, you get the digital for free over there. But right now, she has her Kickstarter for the second volume of Like Father, Like Daughter that wraps up the whole origin story. And she is already funded. 48 hours funded. Boom.
She is an absolute beast, and it is amazing to see like anything she puts out just absolutely kills it.
So that's 7,542, 196 backers, 21 days to go. But folks, if you have not had a chance to check out Like Father, Like Daughter, do yourself a favor, go check it out. If you're doing Holiday Spirits, you'll get a chance to get one to check out the book if you're supporting Holiday Spirits. So then there's a good way to get it. But if not, go over there to Like Father, Like Daughter and get the rest of the story.
Yeah, just back the thing, man. Just get the thing.
Yeah, I just wanted to put that in there since it was such a nice little.
It's a good segue. Yeah. Perfect.
You were gonna say, Frank?
I lost my train of thought. It's okay. I'm
It's
a
been
writer.
that kind of night.
I'm a writer. I'm supposed to do that.
I agree. Yeah, I'm a writer. I do it all the time.
Wouldn't make me would not make me human if I wasn't. You know.
I do want to show off some beautiful clay figures over here from the clay man himself. Hold on. Come on. There we go.
And I am here. Sorry, one of my kids woke up.
Oh.
Well, Shadow, you jumped on in the right time because now you can tell people who you are, what you do, all that good stuff. Go for it.
Hey guys, I'm Lewis, Shadow Rabbit Clay Guy on Instagram, and I try to make cool things out of clay and meet people who are into that kind of thing, and just have a good time. Try to just do something that I enjoy, and hopefully other people like it too.
Dude, you do amazing work, man. I got to hit you up again because Matt has joined the group here. So now I want to do what we did for ourselves with the figures and throw Matt in there.
I'm kind of scared.
Oh, definitely, man.
I want to hit Shadow up and we're going to do a Matt figure.
Oh my goodness.
Well
Surprise
overdue.
me.
You know something? That's a great idea. I think we got a couple people here. I think I owe Frank a sculpture too, man.
Oh, we could do a Frank sculpture. That'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, but you guys gotta make my alter ego.
Oh, you want
Oh,
Go on.
He wants the
now
guy.
we're talking.
Yeah, he knows. Ralph knows who I want. My alter ego is the master. You got Frank, Clark Kent, and then the master. But the master doesn't wear the S on there. Just saying. You know,
he doesn't wear the S.
Yeah,
You know,
interesting.
that's what the best part about this community is. You can finally take off your Clark Kent disguise and be yourself. You know.
Well, that's what it is. You know, this whole industry, this whole like unity. You know, is we have our own talents, and we can always be ourselves. If you can't be yourselves around people, you know, then I don't know. You know.
I love the sculpting on that cape.
Oh yeah,
I do too. I think that's badass.
I'm a sucker for like fabric physics, and when
yeah.
people get it right.
How long did that take you to do?
Not. You know, I similar to what you were describing. I could sculpt a lot pretty quick if I had the time. You know, I just kind of zone out, and you know, I think most of that guy was done in a day or two.
Wow.
Nice. It's got to be like a cool Zen feeling to be able to just like switch off the brain and like let the hands work.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, yeah, that's kind of my cathartic, you know, release is just zoning out, seeing what I sculpted after I come back to, you know.
And it's got to be extra rewarding to actually have something tangible to like hold in your hand and be like, I did this. Like writing, drawing, it's cool, but it's still like, all right, it's a thing on the screen or it's like a piece of paper or whatever. But you have this like physical 3D object that it's just like, yes, I made this.
If I could write a book or sing a song, I'd do that. But this is just the one that made sense to my particular situation.
I mean, you're damn good at it, so.
Speaking of
which, look at that detail. Like I've been through.
Recently, I joined up with the guys with We Suck at Comics. You know,
I love that name.
Wayward Raven.
Yeah,
and, I wrote a prose for them, and Shadow Rabbit actually did the art for that for me. So when that comes out, you will see a beautiful Shadow Rabbit piece because he did an amazing job on it with a nice little story from yours truly.
Yes, let me know when that drops. I'm very excited about that.
They accepted that?
Yep, they accepted it.
Oh wow!
Why wouldn't they?
I am part of the project, and so
That's
are
the
you,
first thing I
Shadow.
think. Yeah, man, thanks for giving me that opportunity, Ralph. Man, I haven't drawn
Oh, no
anything in a
problem.
while. I was just
Let me say something. Matt, I never imagined
I'm
anyone could
super
feel
excited now.
that way about drawing. And I guess we all took a look at each at the other yard and think the grass is greener. Yeah, that's how it is, though. I can tell you right now that anytime I look at my stories, I'm like,
Oh,
It's a big, beautiful world out there.
oh,
Yeah, it
definitely,
is.
damn right.
completely.
And,
Hey,
and
Yeah,
then
and
there's
we
outer
all have our
space and time
talents. We all do
travel.
our
And
things. Exactly.
I could draw stick figures. Does that count?
That does count. I'm so glad you said
think
that
so.
instead of
It
the
does
like, I
count.
can't even draw a stick figure. Like, at least give yourself props for the stick
As
figures.
a writer, I have to draw the stick figures, so sometimes I got to show the artist what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean that's actually great, especially if you're doing comics, to be able to do your own thumbnails as a writer. That way,
Mhm.
like you start to realize, okay, maybe I shouldn't put 11 panels on one page. Like this isn't gonna work. You actually get a better sense of the placement. Oh,
Gage says the same thing. Yeah,
But
we
I
should
mean,
do a writer's stick figure book.
I would
Well,
love to see that.
I like storyboarding. I think that's so cool
Oh, it
when
is. It's
writers do
amazing.
even the
well,
stick
you know,
figure drawings. You can really see it.
it's awesome just to kind of. I mean, I don't draw. Obviously, I was making jokes about and stuff like that, but it's just it's obviously it got twisted around, but it's pretty cool because I mean, it didn't ever happen, but you guys made that work. But it's very interesting as you guys bring up the stick figures, as I mentioned, for just to see how like I'm an artist in a different way of writing with my art and my words, and a lot more people around me have more talent than I do than drawing, as I say, stick figures, and just to kind of where each person is has their own thought process of what the character look like, whether it's a comic, it's a story, or whatever it might be, you know, and how they structure it. It's pretty cool just to know that people do that or see that, and then you go from the original character that you were sketching on just a piece of paper, and then you see the final character that you was like, oh, that was awesome, from where it started to where it is, and then
Yeah.
you just get and you keep on adding that stuff is awesome, you know.
I love
Yeah, it
behind the
comes to
scenes
life.
looks where it's like, where it's like, oh, here's like the initial script versus like the finalized script, or even like here's the first concept art versus like, the finalized concept art. And I love seeing the thought process behind it, especially if there's like an audio commentary or like notes or whatever, where it's just like, we changed this because this and that and that. Like, it's so delicious to see.
It's so funny though because people like to make it sound easy. They want it to. I think it's because they want it to be easy.
Of
They
course.
want it, they want it to be so that I can jump in and do this. I'm like, no,
Or
it took me.
they
Yeah.
want it to be like, "Oh, well, you just have natural talent, so it comes easily to you," and they wanna use that excuse instead of putting the hard work. Where it's like, "No, like, we went through, like, 17 drafts before we came up with, like, the final product."
Oh, definitely. That's why
Yeah.
Yep.
sometimes when those big motion pictures are made and it sucks, I'm like, dude, who the hell? What part of the process was it where somebody decided this was a good idea and nobody said no, that's not a good idea?
Oh my that's the same question I ask where it's like, "This has been through how many hands and how many pairs of eyes, and this is what y'all got at the end. This is shameful."
Well, that's the difference between like you can't get anywheres without putting in hard work. But
Hmm.
there's some of these things if they lack inspiration or authenticity or whatever it is, if they don't have a soul, then you can put as much hard work into it and you'll get something that's soulless at the end of it. Season 8 of Game of Thrones or something like that. It's just you can hammer into a wall as much as you want. You're not going to make a Michelangelo at the end of the day if you don't have some kind of heart to it. A passion or an idea or the innate talent, whatever it is. But I definitely think like it's an easy it's an easy scapegoat, any of those things, saying like, you know, I worked super duper hard on this.
Right.
But if it was, you know, you worked hard on something that you didn't really care about, I feel like that's something that's starting to show. Whereas if you have a great idea, but you don't really, you know, put all of your all into it, then you can have a great idea, but you know, it's just for you. It's not going to go anywhere if you just keep it in your head and don't put that risk and that effort into it.
It's so interesting you bring that up because a lot of people say that like writers, especially writers who write like really great, like solid, compelling, fully fleshed out characters, like that's not something that can be taught. It's like, you know, you can read as many different like writing formula books where it's like, all right, 3-act structure, 4-act structure, whatever, but like no one can tell you how to have like empathy for the characters that you're writing or the characters that you're drawing or whatever. And if you, like Lou said, like if you don't have that soul, if you don't have that empathy, like everything is going to fall flat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just, this is some, you know, I don't really have a solution for any of that. It's just something that I kind of,
it's funny.
Like you guys, you know, in your stories, you clearly have that love for what you're doing. It's not just like, oh yeah, I thought up this guy and he's gonna do this. It's like these are, like I said, these are real people to you, and that's
it's kind of crazy, isn't it?
You guys, and then you hustle and you work your butt off to make it matter for something.
Exactly.
Really
it's
cool.
funny that you guys are all talking about this because it's a great segue for what I'm about to show you guys. Because
I'm so glad you brought that up.
I was on with our friend Jorge Medina, and we were talking about the art of comic writing, and we had a lot of these same conversations on you know the process and all the stuff that we're doing. And I'll play a little bit of this so you guys can see. Here's a teaser. I guess that's what we would call it.
I almost feel like I don't know if you correct me if I'm wrong, but what I'm getting is that each story has a different way of it working itself out. Sometimes you do the I'm just going to go to the script. Sometimes you do the world building. Sometimes you do. So it really depends on the story.
Yeah, you know as well as I do that sometimes little voices, little characters like to speak to you, and they don't shut up, and they want what they want.
I almost feel like I don't know if you correct me if I'm wrong, but what I'm getting.
There you go, folks. A little bit of snippet, and it's funny because it's exactly the thing we're talking about here.
Yep, when the characters become people and they don't shut up and they keep you up at 4 a.m. and then you have to write down all your little notes because you're like, I don't want to forget this. This is some gold here.
Oh, it definitely is. Oh, hey, look who popped up.
Oh, it's Nat. He's here.
It's the perfect piece of gold that you guys were looking for. Hello, how are you guys doing today?
There's your gold.
Oh, what's up, Nat?
Not as golden as your smile.
Oh.
I don't
know how I feel about this love fest. Usually it's like a hate fest.
You know what?
The only thing I'm hating is this negative vibe.
Yes.
Oh my God. We have too much fun here, folks.
It is wonderful.
Nat, I'm surprised you made it because you know, MTA sucks.
Bro, I would have needed to wait 30 minutes for the J. I walked.
I was wondering how you got home.
That's always telling when you're like, I could walk faster than this train.
Yeah.
5 out of service trains, both directions.
Wow.
Oh, ow.
It's a brisk night too, man.
Oh yeah, it is.
It's actually not that bad. It's pretty good over here.
It's
what was it like?
Though.
Was it like 50? Because like when I came home at like 5:30. I know that 5:30 it's like
it's a party.
You know.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Hey, it's an imposter.
The whole family's showing up. Amazing.
This is turning into a party. Woo!
It is.
That's
Can
awesome.
we call Shannon?
Yes, we're in.
Yeah. Let's go. We almost have the whole crew. Let's just.
We do.
add them.
That's too funny.
It's like 42 degrees in winter.
Jealous.
Oh.
You know, he got excited. He goes, "Yeah, me and Sorcier are gonna work on something."
Yep, it's already in process.
I finished up the stuff I was doing, and so you guys were still on, and I caught the show, and then I was like, why am I not in there?
Why are you not in here? There you go.
Why was I not in there? So
you guys should put the master. You guys should put the master in your in your drawings and just have him randomly standing waiting for a bus. You know, I need a bus. He would be. Just,
Oh, that'd be funny.
Have you started getting fan art yet, Frank?
I
think it's about time.
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
No, I haven't. So
you know why? It's because you haven't made the comic coffin yet.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's kind of hard to make a comic coffin
When
with a
you're,
book.
yeah, when you have a novel, I don't know if it actually fits in a comic coffin.
Listen, in Japan, they make it work, okay? The characters will literally tear the page. Like, imagine you're just reading a normal book, like only words, and then out of nowhere, you see the villain actually tearing up the words for one of the pages.
What do you mean out of nowhere? He's making Randy Orton RKO references. Wow. And he probably didn't even know that he made that reference. Sorry, the wrestling fan.
No idea.
Randy Orton is. I know you don't. That's why I made it. You know, no, but you know, it's. I don't know. I had someone ask me years back if I would ever think about doing a comic. You know who asked me to do that? Nick Ralph. Nick asked me. He thought about doing a comic.
That makes sense. That actually makes sense. And he had asked me, and he's like, I was like, I don't have time. I don't have time to write too often. So I was like, you know, I don't like to get myself gauged up in a project that I'm not gonna, you know, I got other projects that I'm trying to get done on my own, you know, as much as I will.
Was that a bit an Apple reference? You gauged them up?
Yeah. I'm surprised Gage didn't say anything.
Added all that in there.
no, I just laughed.
Oh.
I got slapped. Ow, I felt that.
I understand that though, because like I game master like 3 games a week every.
I don't know how you do it.
And 2 games a week every week, and that eats up a ton of time. And then on top of that, I'm writing, and I can't. And then I draw Godslayers, and then my artist draws Godslayers, but I draw Godslayers first, and so like I'm feeling that, like I'm missing shows and stuff like that because I'm constantly
working
on a project.
The hustle.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, just coming on here and listening to people, like I'm like, all right, what the hell am I doing wrong that I can't get some of my stuff done? You know. Listen, to balance things out can be very difficult, you know.
Also, a lot of people, when they think about like novels to comics, they're like, "Oh, well, the story's already there; it should be easy." But no, it's like 2 completely different mediums. Like you have to set things up a lot differently. You have to change things around. You have to make sure things fit like specific page formats, and like, you know, then you have to break things up into issues or whatever. Or if you're doing a graphic novel, like you still have to rewrite your entire already existing story. It's not like you can just slap the prose words onto a comic and be like, "Cool, I did it."
You're telling me you don't have a bunch of people hidden and locked up in your basement?
What?
You're telling me you don't have a bunch of people hidden and locked up in your basement that do work for free? Is that what you're telling me?
I am the person locked in my basement doing work for free.
You're utilizing child labor?
I do have to admit,
locked in the basement. She's not even getting paid the right price.
No, I'm not. Like, dude, be a little more sensitive next time.
Child labor is free, though.
Oh my god!
I mean, Lou has a bunch of them right there.
I was gonna say mine grew up. Can't do that anymore.
Oh my god!
It would be. Yeah, I have. A lot of people have thought about you know, different cons and different fans when they buy the books and say, "Yo, have you ever thought about turning that into a comic?" I'll tell you what. If that ever got turned into a comic, that would be really, really brutal. You know.
Sometimes a writer will bring in another writer to do the work because as a novelist, sometimes you don't have the same mind frame as a
I
script
completely
writer.
agree. I think it.
Yep.
I do believe that that's a completely different mindset from going to a book to a comic.
Yeah.
But my buddy was like, me and him had a thing. He's like, so he took Thanos, and he goes, "How would the Master fare against Thanos?" And I go, "Which Thanos?" He goes, "The ones with the stones or the ones without?" He goes, "If he just," I said, because I said, he could basically snap and then he'll disappear, right? But he goes, if he were not to do that and not try to get rid of someone that can't pretty much die, um, I said, if he was trying to have a fair fight against the Master, my son turns around. I said the Master would demolish him. My son 14,
Nice.
just and a lot of people's like, yeah. I said depends. I said
Geek fight.
I love geek fights.
A geek fight is great.
Yeah.
And it's funny. Again, I feel like today's a whole segue to other things.
I love it. I'm here
Well,
for
we
it.
have different
Right now, next week actually, we're going to be talking to the guys from Bolt Entertainment because they have this thing called Write Wars.
Go on.
And this is a beautiful concept. This thing is a writing game. It's role playing, writing. It's all that stuff where you write something, and then in the game itself, you all vote for what should be the steps.
That's cool.
Right. And then they all decide by voting what moves forward. So I got excited finding
We need
this.
to do a Bit and Apple edition of this game.
We
Please.
do. We definitely do.
I would lose round 1.
Is there really losing though?
Yeah.
There's always losing.
In the dark and twisted corners of our imagination, there lies endless worlds of wonder and terror. In one, the undead have risen to claim the earth. In another, a hard-boiled detective is on the trail of a mystery shrouded in darkness. And in the depths of space, the crew of an interstellar vessel braces for the unknown. But there is more. A fantasy world of ancient ruins, where a band of adventurers gather to face an unknown peril. These are just a few of the many worlds waiting to be explored. So choose your world, wield your words, and join us, where every story begins with a single sentence and ends with infinite possibilities.
But can he beat Goku though?
Dude, Write Wars. I'm telling you, I ran into this trailer, and I was like, I gotta follow this rabbit hole. So I followed the rabbit hole, and I hit up Bolt, and I was like, I gotta talk to you guys. This is fantastic. This is one of those things that as a writer, you want somebody to make, because sometimes people are like, well, how do I write? And I'm like, this is like a beautiful way to do that. Play the game. As you play against each other, you have to write better, and you'll become a better writer by doing it. And I was like, this is just fantastic.
I think what's also really interesting is if you are playing with people who are aspiring writers, it's that they see how many possibilities are thrown into one scenario before you actually settle on the one possibility. You have to justify it, and then it clicks to them that it's like, all right, well, when I'm writing my own thing, I should write out a bunch of possibilities and pick whichever works for the story. It's never usually just all right, this is my idea from beginning to end. There's always these little scenarios where it's like, oh, well, what happens now? What do I do here? There's many ways it can go. So it's great to teach them that and have them explain why their thing should be the next step.
Definitely. And we're going to have these guys on the next Written Writ next week, Wednesday. They're going to be on the show. I brought them in. We're going to have a beautiful writing talk, and I am excited to see what he has to say. I've already had a conversation with him before this, but I'm not going to spoil it.
But can they beat Goku though?
That's always the fight, isn't it? Can they beat Goku? Can they beat Goku? I'm like, they're in two different universes, and I always say the same thing. Whoever's writing, that's how you know who's going to win.
But can they beat Luffy though?
The writer will decide who they like best, and that's who wins.
Also, can Goku even write? Like, if they're fighting at like writing and stuff, I don't think Goku's terribly literate. I think he's gonna lose this one.
Listen, you already know the Hood's gonna back up Goku no matter what.
Yeah, this is true.
Goku is kind of
Yeah, he's not the brightest crayon in the box, not the sharpest tool in the shed.
Listen, he's the guy who will pull up to a cancer patient and go, "I heard your cancer's strong. Let me fight it."
I can see that. I can actually see that. I can actually see that.
I think I just got like a brain tumor from
that
that.
hurt. Oh my god.
Wow.
Listen, this is why Goku now wears the Tims and the Supreme Coat. And I know this is a bunch of old memes for you guys, but like, can you beat Supreme Goku?
Well, it doesn't matter. None of them can beat Shaggy, so Ultimate Shaggy will kick all their butts.
Ultra Instinct Shaggy.
There you go. Ultra Instinct Shaggy.
Amazing.
Oh my god. Yeah, folks, the geek fight is always an interesting place to go, and it always bugs me out when people take it really, really serious and they start actually fist fighting.
That's the best part. That's when you get the popcorn and you're just sitting there like, oh yeah, my bet's on like, the other geek, like Geek A.
Oh, because I've seen when especially the freaking Dragon Ball Z people, they get really upset when Superman beats Goku, when Luffy beats Goku.
Do you guys remember the show Beat the Geeks?
Yeah.
No.
Does it involve hitting geeks with sticks?
Well, that was just a game that they used to play in high school, and that's why I couldn't talk about Batman.
Okay, sorry.
No,
Right.
It was like it was like Iron Chef. Like they had 4 different geeks, and the person could challenge one of them. And it was like a trivia thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and it
fun.
was it was cool.
I'd be bad at that.
I
know things until I need to know them, and then my brain blanks out. Ralph knows what I'm talking about.
I'm the same
lack of recall.
I am the same way. I can
just
be
tell people I have the memory of a goldfish, and it protects me from that.
Oh.
What's a
I know
goldfish?
lots of useless facts, but then when someone actually puts me on the spot, I'm just like, brain empty.
Empty brain.
Empty brain. Brain no have knowledge.
What brain for?
Brain for sleep now time.
Exactly.
Sleep time when?
Sleep time, sleep.
Tell me about this sleep time thing. I've heard it exists.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys
so real.
How you guys do those crazy late nights.
Sheer willpower.
Many word. Brain hurt.
I
Why
think the
use
worst ones,
many word when few word do trick?
Exactly. I think the worst ones are when New York Comic Con comes around and people go, "Oh, it's New York Comic Con." Yeah, but dude, most of the times you leave New York Comic Con, if you're lucky, around 8 or 9 o'clock. If you're lucky. If you're unlucky, you leave like around 11 or 12 o'clock.
You leave New York Comic Con?
If you're super unlucky like me, you'll leave at 8 o'clock and you won't get home until like 1 a.m. somehow because the MTA just like
That's
being
because
the
you're
MTA.
in the Bronx.
It is an unfortunate side effect of being in the Bronx, yes.
Yes, it is. Definitely is.
It's like an hour to get into Manhattan minimum, no matter what.
You're better off taking the ferry with Tony and staying over at one of his extra rooms.
Oh my god, seriously, it would be quicker, right?
That'd probably be the easiest thing.
We'd probably have an easier time swimming to Staten Island.
I agree.
Than taking the train back to the Bronx.
It is faster to walk to where me and Ralph are in Brooklyn than it is to take the train to the Bronx.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Like from the Javits to us, it's a 45-minute walk.
Yeah, no, that's like an hour and a half at least, because it's like an hour or more to get to like the 34th Street area, and then to just like walk over. It's like a whole other thing. It sucks.
It could
be worse. You could get home late enough where there are no buses.
Oh, you
Long
poor
Island
man.
doesn't exist.
That sucks.
He's also in the Bronx, so.
There's certain buses that just stop going, and you're like, what?
You know what's crazy?
What time do the buses stop? I'm sorry. What do they stop?
Always. They're always stopped.
You know what's crazy? It's faster to get to White Plains than it is to get to the Bronx.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's almost quicker for me to get home.
Yeah.
It's faster to get to Yonkers than it is to get to the Bronx.
Sounds like the tip along now.
Because the Metro North, right?
Yep.
Yep. I love the Metro North.
The Bronx doesn't exist, bro.
It's not real. I'm not real. You're talking to a simulation. I'm gonna like clip through the floor, and it's gonna be terrible.
I have friends who would take the Metro instead of going to take the regular train.
I don't blame them.
Folks,
It is so much faster to go over to Flushing, Queens, and take the bus up to the top of the Bronx than it is to take a train to the Bronx.
Yeah, that's actually easier.
Yeah.
I've done it. I've actually done that one.
Long
Q44?
Island, so I don't know.
That's one of them.
Huh? It's wow.
I'm the West Coast guy. I don't know any of this.
You're learning a lot about the today and how much you just
taking notes. Okay. Take this train.
Hey,
don't
Gage.
take that train.
I'm on Long
Just remember,
Island,
if you
so
die in the Bronx,
I'm-
you die in real life.
Yeah, I'm lost just as much as Gage, but I actually live to stay. But
When we went to Rhode Island, we were stuck in the city for like 2 hours before we even made it to go to Rhode Island.
Oof.
yeah,
That's actually pretty good if you think about it at the time you guys left.
6-hour trip. Well, it's supposed to be 3 hours.
it's supposed to be 3 hours.
Yeah,
Why didn't you take Whitestone?
Well, he came to pick me up.
Yeah, it's still faster to take Whitestone than it is to go through the city.
Yeah, never
Oh,
go through the
God.
city ever. Don't even look at the city.
No.
Don't pass go. Don't collect $200. Just avoid it.
Only way you collect $2 is by spending it on your tires. You know.
Yeah, someone else collects your $200. That's not even your $200
Yeah.
anymore.
Oh, in New York, yeah, that's how
Just
Monopoly
say
works.
names.
Somebody else collects your money. Oh my God. So, folks, yeah, that's all the stuff we have here. We actually went through everything I had up here. Marta, repeat your pitch, and I'll put your stuff up again.
All right. So yeah, on Monday, January 15th, I'm launching a Kickstarter campaign for my comic Sacrimony, A Tale of Love, Life, and Death in no particular order. I do all of the art and the writing, and I'm very tired, and I would really like it if you followed the campaign, if you backed the book, checked it out. If you're into fantasy stories that are less about like kings and queens and chivalry and stuff and more about like people just being dealt a bad hand in life and not knowing what the hell they're doing and being very bad at their jobs, like I highly recommend Sacrimony.
Sounds like my life. Anyway.
Yeah, it's very relatable. This is the thing I tell everybody that they don't believe because they're like, oh, it's a fantasy story. Look at the characters. They have wings and stuff. But it's like, no, like just like you, they do not have their shit together.
Exactly. And that's the problem. That's life right there.
That is life. It's very human to just not have your shit together.
So, folks, 148. She's two people away
Nice.
from 150. Come on, and then we get a stretch goal, a pre-stretch goal, unheard of. A pre-stretch.
Yeah, you
goal.
get like some very amazing, sweet, sick bonus art added to the physical book and the PDF because I like to reward everyone equally. Because, like, you know what, digital backers matter.
Exactly.
Digital backers are like the backbone of a campaign.
Yes, they are.
You get a lot more of those than physical backers a lot of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, like at least 60 to 70% of my backers are usually digital, and it's like, yeah, I get it. Like, you know, I don't have room for physical books, and like they're out there supporting the campaign, and it sucks when creators completely just like forget about them and they're like, oh, you're getting extra physical stickers and extra physical postcards, and it's like, what about the digital guys?
What about the digital guys?
What about them? I love to remember them because like I've had so many digital backers like stick around since Sacrimony 1, which was like back in 2021. Yeah, like March of 2021. Like I still have a lot of digital backers who stuck around. Physical backers, not so much, because people are like, oh, I can't afford physical books or whatever. But like, I love my digital backers. I want to treat them right.
And you should.
I should, yes, always.
There you have it, folks. Go check it out. Come on, 2 people.
2 people, and I will faint because this is the most followers that I've ever gotten, and it's very surreal and just very amazing. And
remember,
for those who
folks,
have followed, like, thank you so much.
Exactly. And remember, folks, signing up to Notify is free. You're just signing up to Notify, which means that you'll be notified when the Kickstarter goes live. So it's a free thing, and it helps up so much because it actually puts the creator in a better place when their project starts.
Yep.
In the algorithm.
Mata
It's all
will
about the algorithm.
handwrite a thank you card to each and every backer.
I do actually.
He does.
For physical backers, yes.
Yeah.
It's harder to do it with digital, but I usually, especially if I know the person, I write like weird notes or like
Oh, yeah.
draw stupid shit on the thank you card.
I got mine.
Excellent.
See, what you could do, you could write the card, take a picture, and attach it to the email.
Oh, wow.
It's automated though through BackerKit, so it's harder.
Right.
To,
Yeah.
I don't like manually email because it's hard to manually email like 150 people or whatever.
It is.
AI write it.
Well, I guess what you could do is like because I think they let you do notifications, they let you do what do you call it? Updates. There you go.
So yeah, I do updates.
Yeah.
I do message people thanking them because
there you go.
I'm always super grateful that people decide to check out my stuff, or they've been in it for the long haul.
You have it, folks. Go check out Mata's stuff. It is beautiful. Mata, show that beautiful art one more time.
Yeah, sure.
It looks even better.
Yes, this is the original painting that you've seen in the project
Look at
image.
that.
It will be a Kickstarter reward for one lucky person who lays claim to it. There's glitter on it. And yeah,
it's beautiful.
Thank you. This
That
is
thing
the
needs to be
best thing
framed
that I've
and
ever
put on a
painted.
wall. That definitely needs to be framed and put on a wall.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
I will
definitely.
also send it. It will be mounted on a mat board and ready for framing. I don't trust myself to frame it and then ship it and not have the frame get wrecked, but it will
That's true.
definitely be made ready for framing.
And just tell them a little bit more about this.
Oh, yes. Holiday Spirits. I believe it has 57 hours left to go. We still need some funding to get there. It is a holiday horror anthology. I know they say Christmas, but like there is a writer that did a Hanukkah story, and I appreciate that. I also love the premise for that one because it's like an old Jewish lady doing like a Home Alone thing to criminals and just like tormenting them, and that's a great idea. But yeah, there's 300 backers. We need a little under $500 to fund.
Yep.
There's 57 hours to go. You're getting a lot of incredibly huge names in indie comics, like people who have worked for Scout, people who've worked for Image, people who have worked for like, done stuff for Mad Cave, SourcePoint, like Band of Bards, whatever, like people who have been nominated for Ringo Awards, and then there's me. I don't know why I'm there, but they invited me and I showed up.
You're a one-woman show. You are your own company.
I am my own. That is literally what I am. I'm my own company. So it was nice that they, let me play with some of the big kids there. And it's really great getting to know them. They're such cool people. They're such wonderful people. A lot of them do a lot for the comics community in general. Like, because it's that whole, like, we're all comrades here, like a rising tide, raises all ships, and however that saying goes. Like,
I would love to say it here. We raise each other up. That's the best way to do this industry. We raise each other up, and that way we all get there.
Yes. And that's what this anthology is about. Everyone raising each other up, everyone being like, hey, you know what? Let's get more eyes on this. Let's get more eyes on like everyone's stuff. It's not just that sort of like, oh, you're the competition, me. Like, no. There's some like genuinely amazingly good people here.
Why are you trying to steal people away from my Kickstarter that is 3 years away? How could you do this to me?
3 years away.
Well, you know what? It's because we have that rivalry going. When I said New Year, New Me, I lied.
I know. I can't believe this. See, I was so kind to you earlier, and now I regret that.
I was waiting for this.
I regret that.
Top 10 anime betrayals right here.
Right here, right now.
Right here,
Come
right
on, let's
now.
go.
All right, Frank. Tell
Times
them
Square.
all the good stuff. Go for it.
Oh,
Hi,
all
Andrew.
the good stuff.
Andrew.
Hey, Hey, Andrew.
Always
Hi,
great to
Frank.
see him around.
Now that we
Go ahead. Do your
Hey
spiel.
all. So my name is Frank Destefano. I'm the All Dark Legend of Foreigner book series, and soon to be another book series coming out in mid-March that I'm dropping up at Syracuse Collectors Con. You can find me February 1st through the 4th at MegaCon. Yes, I did that correctly. At MegaCon in
MegaCon.
Orlando. Yes, MegaCon, which is very mega, you know.
And also a
I will
con.
Yeah,
be.
That's a big one, man. That's
I
gonna
will
be
be.
that's a
gonna be
big
great.
con, man. MegaCon is a big
Yeah.
con.
You know what, guys? Truthfully, I never thought I would get to, like just as writers or comic book people or whatever you're doing, sometimes you just doubt yourself. And then I'm like, I had people that pulled me up over the years and stuff like that and raised me, and like, oh my, wow, I'm going mega. Like, I had to like think about that. Like, wow. Like, all right, guess I'm really rising my superstardom. It's never about, it's always about the fans draw and always able to support me and wherever I go, whatever city I bring to. And that's why I enjoy building my brand, Frank Destefano, author. Building it from scratch. That's not been easy, as we all kind of start something, and you're crawling and just basically trying to get the people to support you. And you know what? I have, and it's a amazing feat, being able to do that. And I'm very thankful for the people who have supported me and supported series, and and then to another book series which will bring out, like I said, mid March, and then I have another one, another Dark Legend coming up. Just don't know what part of the year I'm going to do that or when. It's trying to balance, because I have a new book series. You could, it's a suspense thriller, so it's not a fantasy fiction. So I want to get that going, because I've had too many of these manuscripts on my and not doing anything with it. So you know, so it's yeah. Oh, thanks, Andrew.
Yeah. He says he's trying to get his sci-fi and fantasy book club to read it. It's in our
Do
queue.
it.
Yeah.
Read it.
Oh, that'd be awesome, man. That'd be awesome. Thank you. Thank you much, man. Thanks for the support, Andrew. I greatly appreciate it.
And Frank's going to be hanging out with us
Um,
for the next couple of weeks as he's heading to MegaCon, and he might make a special announcement soon, right? Right, Frank?
Yes, sir. Gonna do it on the show. So, because a lot of people, me a lot of from when I first met Ralph, and what was it, 18? 18? Was that 18 or 17?
I think it's
Ralph?
2017.
Oh
If
my
I
God,
I
my
remember.
think
my
that's
math was like 2018. That was 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, see, that's what I always think.
Yeah, you'd have to know what year it is
no,
now for that context.
Time is an illusion.
and
Oh my God.
listen, a lot of my friends on this show, they come on with, just people that I've met, and, through Ralph, and became friends with everybody. So, it's only the right place to, announce what's coming and where it's going to be dropped and stuff like that. So, um,
Yeah.
Ralph is going to get the first opportunity, and, plus I've, kind of have a little sneak before the show, and so you guys have an idea. Definitely something to be dropping fairly soon on this show, and you guys will get to see it firsthand what we dropped in mid-March. At the Syracuse Collectors Con. That's where it's going to happen.
So you already know exactly where you're dropping it, and you're teasing us.
Yeah, I do.
It's coming. So I like that. So you're doing it at that con, and you're gonna
And
let
I'll
us know.
I'll give you I'll give you two reasons. The gentleman that asked me to come to the con was really nice to me, and I wanted to do it early enough where it builds momentum. Um, sometimes maybe on the smaller scale. Like usually you want the bigger scales, but I don't want it like that. I want to start to gradually gain momentum. He's going to take care of it. He'll be posting stuff and about it as well. So that's some extra help that I wouldn't have had if on like a bigger con.
Right.
Not to knock those, but and definitely here
It's a little easier to
show.
handle. Yeah, with the bigger con, you're kind of like stuck out there. But it makes sense to put it at a con that and a con where you know what you're going to be doing.
Yeah, I mean, he's reached to me and he wanted me to kind of do the show because he saw it was kind of he saw me in a group. I forgot, but maybe the Rhode Island anime group that I did, and he saw my stuff because I'm posting it, tagging and stuff like that. And when he reached out, he's like, "I'd like you to come, mid-March." Did I think I would drop anything a few months ago? Probably not. But then as things got closer, so I'm gonna make the announcement next Wednesday. Good, Ralph?
Yeah, next Wednesday. Yeah, you can come check out the writing wars.
Okay, so I'll be on, and then maybe I'll that little note in there. Is that cool?
Oh, it's perfect. You come for the writing wars, and you drop your deuce.
Drops.
Do you want to rephrase that, good sir?
No,
I don't
Would
think
you like
he
to
does.
rephrase that?
I think he
might have
said
known
what he said.
That was fun.
He didn't even
I know
say
you've been busy over
pause.
there, but
Gotta be there.
I know you've been busy over there, but I know you're getting ready for God Slayers, so you might want to tell the folks a little bit so that they can keep an eye out for it. Go for it.
So I'm currently working on God Slayers episode 3, and I'm working on a trade paperback of God Slayers episode 1 and 2 with some of the covers and the excess covers and stuff. Excess covers. What do they call them?
Got some spare covers lying around.
I actually do. But the just alternate covers that were on Godslayers 1 and 2 that I'll be putting in as art in the book. And then Mario, the artist who draws Godslayers, he has an art book that I'm helping him come out with.
Nice.
Fancy. I love art books.
Yep.
So we're kind of working on that project too.
They have it, folks. God Slayers, Gage the Wolf. You got to go check that out. Especially if you like your fantasy stuff, because as we were talking about D&D, this is really D&D.
It really is.
Love it. I'm so excited to check it out. When do you have any estimated launch date or anything going on?
So I've fallen behind. Normally I launch in April. I'm hoping to still get there in time, but I'm struggling hard to get there. So it might be a little later this year, like May or June.
Interesting. Okay, well that's exactly what I was saying. I know you've been busy, and I had a feeling that your date was pushed back some.
Well, it just gives you a longer runway to build the hype.
Exactly.
Well, and part of that is money's a little tighter this year than it has been the last couple of years. So.
Oh, we know that one.
Mode.
Have you tried selling pictures of your feet on OnlyFans?
That's gross, man.
Apparently, it makes you money.
We're not talking about gross or good. We're talking about money here.
Yeah.
And money is always dirty.
This is true. You don't know where it's been.
That is true.
You don't know who's put money in their mouth.
Or anywhere else.
Exactly.
Also true.
Exactamundo.
Listen, when you work in retail, you know where that money's going because you see them do it in front of you.
Oh yeah, I've gotten lots of boob sweat money before working in retail.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm not talking about boob sweat. I mean literally putting it in their mouth while they go look for a quarter before they.
Oh yeah.
Gross.
I remember anytime my daughter gets that money near her mouth, I'm like, get.
Good. Gotta teach
you never know how many kids held it, and you don't want to know where kids are putting their money.
Yeah. I know where kids put their money.
Unfortunately.
I was a kid. I know where kids put their money.
I don't know how I survived that.
No.
So listen, if you think of it like that, feet pics isn't that bad.
Yeah, and you're getting digital money, not like
Yeah,
you know.
That's
like
true.
you're never gonna touch it.
Yeah, it just ends up in your PayPal or whatever.
Yeah, and if you feel weird about it going to your bank account, just use your PayPal to pay for it.
This
This
is
got
the
dark
way.
quick, man. Nat, are you okay?
Yes.
If you need help, bro.
I knew. I was waiting for it.
I have a job. Do you think I'm okay?
No, not at all.
Well, that's
I
your
work in
problem
New
right
York.
there.
Am I okay?
No. You
Probably
commute in
not,
New York, you're
no.
definitely not okay.
All right, Shadow. One last time. Tell the beautiful people what you do.
Hey guys, Lewis, Shadow Rabbit, clay guy. I make little things out of clay, and it makes me happy, and I hope it makes you happy too.
It does.
Oh my God, folks, he does amazing work. And Shadow, you are actually going to be doing one of the one of the Cradle of Aviation conventions, right?
Yes, I think I am. I've been a little outside of the con game for a minute, but I will be at CradleCon, and I think I'm doing Long Island Retro
Tabletop?
Gaming. Yeah, the tabletop one too.
Yeah, we are also going to Long Island Tabletop because who doesn't want to go hang out and check out RPGs and D&D and card games and
All the good stuff.
You guys got all the good stuff out there.
I saw Gage get happy about it when I put it up. He put the oh my God emoji on it. Oh my God, that's a great convention, folks. If you guys like RPGs and all that good stuff, go check it out. It's the Tabletop Gaming Expo and Cradle of Aviation, and I think that's in April. And our friends from Hit Point, who will have their Kickstarter right now, will be there showcasing their card game.
Yeah.
And you can go check it out in person.
You said like 3 cons. Which one?
Tabletop. I just finished talking about Tabletop.
Anything
and
at
they're a
the
gaming
Cradle.
group. What happened, Shadow?
And if it's at Cradle, I'll probably be there.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good place to go. Cradle of Aviation is a great place for a convention, and at the same time, you enjoy a museum.
Can't go wrong.
Exactly. So remember, folks, next week, Wednesday, we shall have the guys from If This Wants to there it goes.
Yeah, it's there. Right.
And there's their Kickstarter, Right Wars.
Oh, well, there's another Kickstarter getting money from me that I don't technically have.
That's what I said. I was like,
Just rob me.
I'm probably gonna be putting money into this.
Dang.
That I don't have.
Yep.
Yeah, so they're gonna be here next week talking about their beautiful stuff, talking about their Kickstarter, which I forgot. I know he told me when it goes, but he'll be here next week to say it again anyway. Go check these beautiful folks out. That trailer is fantastic, and we'll have some nice stuff to talk about next week.
It's going to be an exciting week.
Yeah, and let's not even talk about Apple Bites on Monday, where we hang out and geek out as well.
Good times.
Exactly. Folks, I think that's everything. Am I missing something, Mr. Nat?
Xenogeist, comic by our good friends over at Bad Bug. 15 days ago. We can't pull it up. Also, Father Like Daughter.
we did like Father Like Daughter.
Yeah.
We got that one in there.
All right, excellent. But just a reminder, go support. And those are all our friends with Kickstarters.
That's amazing that we don't have more.
I have a few, but I'll make a list.
Ralph,
and we'll
wait
go through
till
them
next
on Monday.
week.
Yeah, next week is going to be a doozy.
No, don't do that. I've been pretty good. Not that I have any money to spend, but I've been
you literally just jinx yourself. We have
I know.
about 12 next week.
Oh my God, I know.
That's probably not even counting the ones that I know about that I'm going to add to that list.
Oh,
Yeah.
probably not. This is just my list, which usually
Matta's
isn't
next
all of
week.
them.
Yeah, Matta's on the 15th.
Yeah, I know that. She's included in my list.
No.
So next week, tune in to see what Nat's list looks like.
And what my list also looks like, which will
There you
just
go.
add probably like 6 more Kickstarters onto there because everyone I know is launching either next week or the week after.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's going to be a busy day.
Speaking of which, folks, speaking of conventions, Garden State Comic Fest will be the last weekend of January, which is the 20th and the 27th and 28th. We should be there at Garden State Comic Fest. The week after that will be the Indie Art Show at the Great South Bay Brewery with our friends from Fat Guy Inc. Yeah, we should be there too.
Nice.
That's
And, Matta, you will be somewhere on the 28th, right?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be in the Bronx, 28th. I keep forgetting.
Library Con.
Is it the Library Con? I keep forgetting
Are they
because
calling
it's like
it that, or is this the Bronx Anime?
No,
Or
this
Bronx
is totally
Tokyo
different.
Bronx?
This is a new one. It's a new one.
completely new. It Bronx Arts Community.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
not
it just popped up this year, and I'm like, all right, the table is affordable for once. Like, let me go see if I can sell some books and what's gonna happen.
So if you guys have been wanting to meet Matta in person, there you go.
And throw hands. Hands will be thrown.
Listen, our hands are going to be thrown in Times Square in between the 7 and the A.
Oh man, that's the worst place to throw hands. Come on, man.
Listen, whoever gets the high ground has the advantage.
All right,
I don't have much height going for me to begin with, so this is not going to be great.
That's why you need the high ground. I'm giving you a fair option.
All right, thanks. I appreciate that.
Remember that you had the high ground. All right, folks, I will do what I always do on the Written Writ. I'll press the button